You need to understand something. Starting a marketing agency in 2026 is completely different even to what it was just 2 years ago. The social media landscape is moving at an extremely fast pace. If you want to be a marketing agency owner, it's really important that you stay up with the times and pick a model that's modern, that's going to work now in 2026. Over the years, I've personally built 2 separate agencies to a 7-figure level. My first agency was a real estate ad agency that did over $900,000 in revenue that I ended up selling during the COVID pandemic. With my second agency, I was first to market with a 7-figure TikTok advertising agency, and within a year, we did over $1 million in revenue, and I won a 2 Comma Club award by Russell Brunson for my agency. Since then, I've consulted 50 plus agency owners to help them grow and scale their businesses as well. Some of them came to me with nothing, no client, no experience, no idea where to start. Others were stuck between 5 and 10K and just couldn't figure out how to break through to that next level. So in this video, I'm going to give you my exact 3-level framework that I would follow if I was starting a marketing agency from complete scratch in 2026. This 3-level framework is what I call the agency kickoff blueprint. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap on the actual steps that I've used and taught so you can stop spinning your wheels and actually build a real business. All right, let's start with level 1. This is where most people get stuck, especially if you're starting your agency from scratch. Level 1 is simply selecting your offer. Most agency owners fail because they aren't actually even confident about the agency model that they've selected to bring to the marketplace. They don't even know if the service that they're offering really makes sense and is something that even works in 2026. In 2026, as a complete beginner, I think the superior agency model for you to go with is a short-form content agency. A short-form content agency is basically where you are a social media management company, but you're focused on short-form video. If you pay attention to all of the different social media platforms between LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, they all have one thing in common. They all have that vertical short-form video style format. If you can take advantage of how the actual social media landscape is in 2026, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to actually deliver results as an agency. There are 4 main things that you need to focus on during this level. Number 1 is what service are you selling? Number 2 is whether or not you want to niche down. If you have a particular interest in a specific industry, I do think it's a good idea to niche down on the services you offer. Number 3 is trying to get clear on what type of results you can actually promise your clients. And number 4 is getting clear on what you're going to charge for your services. And we're going to talk more about that in level 2. Now, before we get into level 2, there's one decision that you need to make, and you don't necessarily need to make this decision right now, but at a certain point, we're going to want to decide, do we want to scale all the way up to a 7-figure level, or are we planning on keeping this a smaller boutique style agency? One isn't right and one isn't wrong, but there are pros and cons to whichever route you end up going. If you go the 7-figure route, there can be a lot more headache that comes up within the business. There are a lot more moving pieces. There's more staff to manage, but you are able to scale the business a lot higher, and it's a lot easier to actually get yourself removed from the daily operation. Smaller boutique agencies usually have more of a passionate owner who stays involved with the service delivery throughout the entirety of the business. With a smaller boutique agency, there are less moving parts, a lot easier to manage, but as the owner, you're going to stay more involved with the service delivery. Now that you have an offer that you can count on, the next step is getting clients in the door. And the way that I teach people to do this when you're starting an agency from complete scratch is doing some sort of test group, leveraging a special offer for the first 5 people that you bring in as clients. Where I encourage people to discount their services over 50% off for the first 5 clients that they bring into their business. The reason why I think this is so beneficial is because when you're just getting into entrepreneurship and when you're a brand new agency owner and when you're overly anxious, people shut down, and this causes people to never even really get their agency off the ground. We need to start getting on calls with business owners who are interested in your agency services. This can be IG DMs, this can be cold calling, this can be local networking. Whatever gets you in front of potential clients is what you need to be focusing your time on. Another really good thing about having this initial test group is with these first 5 clients, you can work on getting really, really good at our service, delivering amazing results, and in return, because you're offering the services at a discounted rate, they should have no problem giving you testimonials so that you can establish more social proof for your agency. Once you have this and you go out and start charging premium prices, it's going to be a lot easier to get clients at a higher price point, considering you have testimonials and social proof. At this stage, you don't need to be worried about fancy tools, AI, automation. You just need to get more comfortable talking to business owners. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, okay, Terrence, I get the framework, but how do I actually implement all of this for my agency? This is exactly what I do inside of my exclusive one-on-one mentorship program. I work one-on-one with agency owners to help them nail their offer, build their systems, double their revenue without the burnout. I've helped dozens of agency owners scale well past 10K, many to seven figures, and everywhere in between. If you want to see if we're a fit, you can book a free consultation. The link is in the description below. On this call, we'll map out exactly what's holding you back and what your next steps should be. All right, let's get into level 3 because this is where things get interesting. In my opinion, level 3 is the most important part. Level 3 is dialing in your agency skill sets. Now that you have your initial test group of your first 5 clients, servicing them at a discounted rate, there are 3 main things that we want to work on when we're at this stage. Number 1 is simply the service you offer and getting really good at your craft. Number 2 is client management. It's one thing to be an amazing service provider. It's a whole other skill set to know how to communicate with your clients. And then number 3, which we don't need to go crazy with yet, but a little bit of systems and processes. Now that we do have the agency off the ground, we have a little bit of cash flow in the door, and we're in operation, we can start documenting SOPs. We can start looking into different project management softwares. We can look into what we can automate within our service delivery. And maybe at this stage, we could even think about hiring our very first overseas virtual assistant. Most agency owners give up because they overcomplicate things. So the whole point of this 3-step blueprint is to keep the process simple, remove pressure, and allow you to go out and get real experience as an agency owner. Again, the framework is quite simple. The actual execution of all of this is where people need my help. But once you're at level 3 or beyond level 3, it's even more important to have help from someone like myself. And with all of that, the very last thing that I want to touch on is a mindset and your mentality. You can have all of the right information, you can follow my blueprint to a T, but if you don't have the right mentality, you're bound to fail. There's a book called The Slight Edge. I have the book right here. It's written by Jeff Olson, and this is 100% a book that I would recommend you to read if you're serious about starting a marketing agency, you want to be successful. The book basically talks about getting in the habit of taking action versus not taking action. You'll even notice this habit within your day-to-day life. Let's say you need to take the trash out. Do you push that out or you just get the trash out right then and there? This same mentality applies to you being a business owner and applies to your agency. Maybe on your to-do list, you have on there that you want to make 50 cold calls. Are you going to be the type of agency owner that decides to get those 50 cold calls done right then and there, or are you going to push that out to the next day? Whether in your personal life or whether within your business, when you get in the habit of taking action now versus pushing things out, it completely changes the whole trajectory of your life. Having this mindset and having good habits is what's going to be the real differentiator on whether or not you win or fail with your agency. Now, if you want to go even deeper with this past level 3 and see some of the implementation that goes on with agencies at a higher scale, jump into the next video where I break down the right system that you need to build within your agency. This system shows you how to delegate tasks and further grow the business without having to wear all of the hats yourself. If that sounds interesting to you, I'll see you there.